Manhattan before he becomes the next president.
Yeah.
Aaron.
All right. Thank you very much, Jim. Out front now, Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz from Florida. And Congresswoman, thank you for being with me. You will be attending Trump's inauguration, unless you have something to tell me differently right now. 52 of your colleagues, though, as of this moment, will not. Why are they wrong?
Oh, they're not wrong. I 100% respect their decision not to attend, because we each have to make our own decision. And I'm completely comfortable with the members that have decided not to attend. From my perspective, and the choice that I'm making is that I am the representative of the constituents who live in my district, and as a representative of a co-equal branch of government, the legislative branch, I want to make sure that I am there, sending a very clear and strong message to Donald Trump and his administration that I'm going to be watching every single day. And I'm going to be doing all I can to prevent him and his team from rolling back all the progress we've been able to make over the last 8 years.
So when you say they're not wrong, I want to ask you specifically, look, some of them had said they would come out and not come before Congressman Lewis, but there is no doubt that when he came out and said that Trump was not a legitimate president, that is when we started seeing people come out in scores and saying, we're not coming. He said that Trump is not a legitimate president because he says the Russians participated in helping Trump get elected. And look, they didn't just help Trump. Their hacking of the DNC cost you your job as chair of the DNC. So let me just ask you this question directly. Do you believe Trump is a legitimate president?
What I believe is that there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by the Russian interference with the campaign, and because our intelligence community has unequivocally stated that Russia's intent was to influence the outcome of the election in favor of Donald Trump, I believe, one, that the investigation that the United States Senate is going to do into the relationship and interaction potentially between the Trump campaign and Russian officials, that's essential.
Yeah.
But I think there's no question that the outcome of this election was affected by Russian interference with the campaign, no doubt.
So when you say the outcome was affected, is he a legitimate president then or not? I mean, is there a distinction between those two things in your mind?
I'm not going to I'm not going to weigh in on the application of the term legitimate or not. I know I've run for office many times, and I certainly would never want to have the credibility or confidence shaken in the outcome of any of my own elections. And so I think it's a cause of great concern. It's something that absolutely, as I said, needs to be investigated and will be investigated, because the next layer of this, Aaron, is what contact, if any, was there between the Trump campaign and Russian operatives. And so, one, I believe that the outcome of the election was affected by their interference, and now we need to know, to what degree, if any, the Trump campaign was actually in collusion with with Russia in that effort.
So all these are obviously crucial questions, right? There are committees now that are going to be investigating this, but with 52 of your colleagues not coming, with some Americans deeply, deeply upset, the hashtag #NotMyPresident on Twitter, I have to say, I do think whether you use the word legitimate is very important. I mean, he's either a legitimate president or he isn't. Which is it for you?
Well, I think that my view on that, I'll be able to reach a conclusion on when we hear more about these investigations. So, I mean, when you use a term like legitimate, and that'll be one I'm prepared to use if more evidence it comes out that not only were the Russians a significant impact on the outcome of this election, but the Trump campaign colluded with them to achieve his victory, then most certainly I would be able to use that term. And good for John Lewis, who has spent his entire life standing up for justice and for human and civil rights. And frankly, I think not only what Donald Trump said was absolutely vile, but I want to make sure that it's understood that my attendance at the inauguration has only a relationship to what I believe my role is to be able to hold his administration accountable. Because I am certainly not attending out of respect for him.
respect for the office. You recently confronted the FBI director. Yeah.